Let's talk about a piece of technology that's, well, completely invisible. It's quietly reshaping our world, one feeling at a time. And this isn't just about an algorithm that predicts what you'll do next. This is about an algorithm that actively trains you.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You pick up your phone just for a second, and boom, an hour is just gone. You're scrolling, and you're totally hooked. But what if that feeling isn't an accident? What if it's the whole point? That's the real question we're digging into. Why is it so hard to look away? And this gets us to a really critical shift in how this stuff works. The technology we're dealing with now has made a massive leap. It's not just guessing what you might click on based on what you've liked in the past. No, it is actively training your future behavior.
So how is this even possible? To get it, we have to move past our old ideas of what personalization means. We're all used to ads following us around the internet. But this is a whole different level. It's where the line between a helpful suggestion and straight-up manipulation gets very, very blurry.
Okay, let's break this down. The old way of doing things, old-school personalization, is reactive. You click like on a photo, and the system shows you more photos like it. Simple. It's based on actions you consciously take. But this new biometric feedback, it's proactive. It doesn't wait for you to click anything. It's measuring things you can't control, like your pulse, how fast you're breathing, your pupils widening. It's using those involuntary, gut-level signals to decide what to show you next.
So, how does this actually work in practice? Well, it all comes down to a powerful mechanism called a feedback loop. The best way to think about it is like a hidden conversation that's happening behind the screen, a conversation you're part of, but you're not consciously aware of it. And it's really a one-way conversation. Your body, your nervous system is giving the algorithm a constant stream of real-time data. But you're not the one doing the talking. Your involuntary reactions are.
So here's the playbook, broken down into 4 quick steps. First, some device, your smartwatch, maybe your phone's camera, captures your body's data. Step 2, an AI chews on that data to figure out how you're feeling right now. Then step 3, and this is the magic trick, it instantly changes the content based on that feeling. If you're bored, it'll dial up the stimulation. And finally, step 4, it measures your new reaction, learns from it, and refines its strategy for the very next moment. It's a continuous cycle.
So let's be super clear here. This isn't just a clever ad campaign. This constant loop, action, measurement, adjustment, over and over, it's a form of real-time behavioral conditioning, and it's all happening silently, right behind the interface you're looking at. But why on earth does this work so well? What's the fuel for this engine? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it's actually rooted in our own psychology. The algorithm has one single target: your emotions. It all runs on a classic psychological principle called reinforcement. See, for the algorithm, any emotional spike, any reaction at all, is a reward. It doesn't care if you feel a burst of happiness or a flash of anger. That spike is a signal that tells the machine, yep, this worked. This is effective content. And here is the absolute key to understanding this. The machine has zero preference for your happiness. It is completely 100% indifferent to whether you feel inspired or enraged. All it knows, all it's been built to optimize for, is that emotion equals engagement, period. So, if any emotional spike is a win, which emotions give the most reliable spikes? What are the strongest, most dependable currencies in this new attention economy? Well, the algorithms have learned that the most powerful, most easily triggered emotions are outrage, fear, and that deep-seated feeling of tribal loyalty. What this means is that the dopamine hit that makes you want more, the cortisol that floods you with stress, our own body chemistry isn't just a part of being human anymore. In this system, it's just another variable for an algorithm to tweak and optimize for maximum effect. So what's the big deal? What's the actual long-term cost of living inside these feedback loops every day? The effect is subtle, but it is profound. It's this slow, quiet erosion of our ability to choose for ourselves. Experts actually have a term for this. They call it agency decay. It sounds a little academic, but what it really means is the gradual weakening of our ability to just pause, think critically, and make a deliberate choice, because we're being constantly trained to just react, emotionally, instead. You can think of it like a battle between two parts of our mind. There's the reflective mind. That's the part that weighs ideas, sees nuance, and has to be deliberately cultivated. But then there's the reactive mind, and that's the part the feedback loop loves. It's the part that responds instantly to emotional triggers, and over time, it learns to see something like outrage as a form of participation. And this is why this matters on a much, much larger scale. The threat here goes so far beyond our personal data privacy. It starts to chip away at the very foundation of a functioning democracy, which absolutely depends on citizens being able to reflect, deliberate, and think with nuance. The implications here are truly global, because when you can influence how one person feels moment to moment, you gain the power to shape the collective emotional climate of an entire society. And let's be clear, this isn't some science fiction future. These systems are already having a massive impact in some of the most critical areas of our world. They can influence the emotional swings of financial markets, they can shape voter behavior during elections, and they can be used to either amplify or completely snuff out social movements. And maybe the most unsettling part of all of this, it is all happening in the dark. There's no transparency into how these loops actually work, there's no meaningful oversight, and honestly, most of us have no idea it's even happening.
The stakes really could not be higher. It all comes down to this. In our modern world, controlling the mood of the public conversation might just be the ultimate form of power.
And so that leaves us with one last critical question to think about. We've seen the machinery itself, this intricate feedback loop that trains our feelings. But who are the architects? Who is actually building, selling, and deploying this technology?